just, not right now, at least.
Yeah. Okay, so we should be live now. We just get it up here. Welcome. Thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah,
Appreciate it. Appreciate
yeah.
it. Still waiting for it to show on the thing.
My hair's a mess. I gotta get a haircut.
It's fine. It's good to see you with your eyes open. Welcome everybody. I'm hoping it's going to be streaming. Can't see that it's streaming.
It's on
Says
YouTube.
it.
Yeah,
It
it's on
does.
YouTube.
Is it? Because I can't see it. Okay, I'm going to hit record so I can make some shorts as well. Okay, welcome everybody. I have a fantastic guest with us today. My guest, I have a bio ready, which I pulled from ChatGPT because it knows you so well. My guest today is Rob Kalil, the host of the Typical Skeptic podcast, where he explores alternative perspectives on consciousness, UFOs, and hidden aspects of reality. Known for his open-minded approach, he has interviewed a wide range of researchers, experiencers, and whistleblowers, creating a platform for thought-provoking and often unconventional conversations. Welcome, Rob. How are you?
Wow, that sounded amazing. Holy shoot. I gotta get a copy of that,
Yeah, I'll
because
send it to you. I'll send
yeah,
it
then I
over.
can use it for when I do other shows. I'm happy to be here. I well, full disclosure, I smoked weed tonight. It was crazy because it was like you messaged me and you're gonna do my show, right? And I was like, yeah, for sure, I am for sure. And then I went and I walked to get a pizza and I didn't even think about it. I just pulled out a blunt and I started smoking and I was like halfway through, I was like, oh no, what am I doing? I'm like, I
Fine,
just
it's fine. We're taking questions from the audience. We're
I
taking
mean,
live questions. It'll be fine. I'm still
okay.
trying to get it up on mine. It doesn't look like it's live on my side. Can you see
Yeah,
it?
we're live for sure. Yeah,
Okay,
I don't
okay.
have this. Wait, let me pull up your.
Yeah, let's get open the chat. Because I'm streaming from
Yeah.
Zoom, you don't get to see the chat or anything. So I'm trying to get that up. Oh, there it is. I found it.
Wait,
I've got it.
you're in
Okay,
my
welcome
thing
everybody.
anyway. Like,
So
my
we will
YouTube is
be
search history.
I found it. We're going to be taking questions from the
Okay.
chat. So if you've got any questions for
Okay.
Rob,
Yeah, we're live.
yeah, please pop them in the chat. Hopefully everyone will be here very, very
I
soon.
got the chat.
Jason's in the
Yeah, I can
chat. Hey,
see you.
Jason. Jason's
Jason's in
pretty
the
high
chat.
too. We're having a
I
safety
love
meeting.
Jason. He's awesome.
So I did not know that 420 was a thing. I thought it was just what Jason had on his name,
Who's that?
right?
James. Oh, James Wickus is in the chat. I
The
can't hear
Wizard
you now,
Wickus.
Julia.
You can't hear me. Why? I'm on maximum.
What happened to maybe it's my speaker. Hold on. Let me see what's going on.
Can you guys hear me? Let me know.
What is going on here? Yeah, it is
Somebody
my
said I was a
speaker.
bit quiet on the last one. But I look
Yeah,
like I'm on full on mine. So,
my speak
okay.
my speaker
Is it
just went off, like kind of
okay?
crazy. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I didn't know the 420 was a thing. And then I've been doing these early morning like breakfast shows at like 1, 2 a.m. Eastern. And then everyone's talking about 420. And I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, Jason says we're going to start off with movie stuff. Okay, so Jason, just throw the questions in for Rob. Come on, before you get too wasted. So, so, so
This is gonna be fun.
what's the movie that you're most scared of, Rob?
Oh, shit. I was a big horror movie fan. Like before I got into this community, I used to always go to like the indie movie stores and stuff like that, and I would buy like always like cult classic films and horror films and like B movies and documentaries. I was big into films and like filmmaking and stuff like that. But like one of the most movies that scares me the most is because it seems like it could be real is it's a popular movie. It's The Hills Have Eyes, where those people get lost in West Virginia and these like crazy people come out of the woods and they try to murder them and eat them. It's horrible. It's like I don't know. And then I have a story that ties into that from my real life. So when I went to the Full Disclosure Now conference, not this year but last year, the time I went with Maya, and we had like it was like me, Maya, her friend Rachel, and her husband Chris, and then they brought a 6-month baby with them, and then Maya brought her 6-year-old daughter with us, and we were in West Virginia. We were on our way to the Full Disclosure Now conference, and we got lost in West Virginia at like 3 a.m. Like totally lost. You know what I mean? Like even though we had GPS and everything, and I felt like that moment. I felt like people were gonna start coming out because we were like in the middle of nowhere. And like I felt like people were gonna start coming out of the woods and attacking us. Like, but so yeah, that was kind of
That's
Two.
super creepy. I don't do scary. I'm really not good at it. That's why I got you on, and I've got Michael Koff came on to talk about the scary stuff that I can't cover. So Jason's saying, are we sticking to ghosts or UFO? And I said anything, but be respectful, right? So do you have any like no-go topics?
Oh no, I'll talk about anything. I don't
Okay,
care.
cool. Yeah, I thought so. I thought so. So please pop your questions in the chat for Rob, and he will answer anything at all. And he is an adept. He's an expert on paranormal, UFO. He's interviewed 2,500 guests, right? How amazing is that? 2,500 shows on the channel. So yeah, any questions you have. This morning, so I did an early live show where we're working with these Japanese cards, Japanese yokai. So the spirits, and they're really hilarious but scary. And then I interviewed John Whitberg, which was really good. I've interviewed Soma Ara, and now you are like the fourth show of the day.
That's
Um,
cool.
yeah, yeah, it's pretty cool. Okay, what most credible UFO cases? So to help me with this, I've got Ivan Teller's book, ET Deep Dive. So when you're talking about UFO stuff, I can like check my book.
I mean,
So
okay, this is. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the Bledsoe case is pretty, pretty valid. It seems to be, Travis Walton could be pretty valid. I'm trying to think of who else. Betty and Barney Hill I want to go to, but I mean that's really old. I mean everybody knows about that, but I mean still, it's a classic. The one of my favorites is the abduction from the book Witness by Bud Hopkins. Where this woman is she's getting abducted out of her 13th floor story apartment in New York City, like in the middle of downtown New York City, and these Greys are abducting her out of her window at night, and somehow she gets involved with like a diplomat who, like from another country that is also being abducted, and it turns into this big story how they end up being like hybrid people in the hybrid program, and it's like this big cover up, and yeah, it's interesting. That's on Bud Hopkins Witness. That's a real, it's supposedly a real story. Yeah.
So Jason says Travis' brother just came out yesterday saying it was a hoax.
Yeah.
I don't think that's true. What do you think? Are they getting threatened?
I don't know. I don't pay enough attention. But I mean, it could be a hoax. It could be true. Rock Castaldo thinks it's a hoax too.
Hmm.
He thinks they were trying to get like insurance money or something like that because they were doing a logging contract up in the woods.
Yeah.
Travis Walton, when he got abducted. But you know, I don't know. It's so hard to say. We'll never know, right?
Hmm. Is this something that you're really researching at the moment?
Um, the war, the war and current events. Like that's unfortunately that's been like on my. I hate to say it, but like usually I'm like researching something on the paranormal or UFOs or anything abnormal mysteries of the universe type stuff. But lately it's been a lot of war stuff, because like I'm not happy with what's going on in our world. I'm really
Yeah.
not.
Did you watch the interview I did with Helena, the channel from Belgium? Because she talks about the regressives, as in the dark elite, the dark forces, and how that's all basically set up by them. That's all it is. So yeah, it was a
That's
really
what
good interview.
I've been telling people this for a long time. Like, but it was like, okay, so here's what I honestly think is going on. I think the world is controlled by non-human entities. I don't know if they're reptilians, Anunnaki, archons, whatever you want to call it. There's something there. Maybe all three of those plus more. It could be like some kind of like weird non-human intelligence. But then you have the humans that are involved, which are highly Luciferian and satanic, and that's where you get like your groups like the Jesuits, the black nobility, the Council of 13, the 13 families, the Club of Rome, the Israelis, which we call the Zionists. Then you have the Islamic Brotherhood. All these groups, the Nazis, which would be the Fourth Reich we know of, right? I think they still have a hand in human affairs, and all these groups like probably are friends with each other somewhere, but they all like the Islamics and the Jewish people they fight here on Earth. But like, but that's where I was going with it. Yeah, and that's what I think. But where I was going with that is there's a shadow government that controls the whole country, my country, your country, especially both our countries. The United States and Great Britain is definitely controlled by a shadow government. Absolutely for sure. And they make it seem like we have a choice. They make it look like they give us a choice, but like and some of us like we get sucked into that thinking we have a choice. and then you realize that like you were right all along, that we're probably being controlled by not just, a shadow government, but non-human entities. And I think that's who kind of is pulling the strings of what's going on here.
Yeah, I agree. I did have Miles on the other day, and I know he's coming onto your channel in a couple of days as well. So he was really passionate, talked nonstop for like an hour. So which is fine.
He's
No, but
awesome.
yeah, he's awesome. But he's got a lot to say about it as well. So you guys will really get into it on Wednesday. When's he coming
Yeah,
on?
I think so. I don't have
Yeah,
the calendars down there, but I'll get. Yeah,
yeah.
it's for short. I think Tuesday or Wednesday. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so we're getting complaints that your mic's not in the right direction and neither's your camera. So
Mine?
I yeah, I had this with John Ratburn before because he just shows like half his face.
Wait a
So okay,
second.
that's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
Can you see? Okay,
Yeah,
there's a
I can.
great question from Kat, and she says, Rob, after so many years interviewing experiences, what is changing in their testimonies? Have you noticed anyone's testimony change?
I would say if anything, it's gotten a lot more. Everything is a lot more astral and etheric and interdimensional now. People are having more like astral experiences, interdimensional experiences, like whereas like maybe before it was a lot more physical. You know, that's if I had to pinpoint something, I would say that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, years ago, you didn't hear about was that an echo then? Years ago, you didn't hear about like undersea stuff or whatever because all the original experiences they didn't have access to the media the way we do now. So they
Yeah.
didn't talk about going off planet because nobody would have believed them at all anyway, right?
Yeah.
They would
Well, I mean,
so
you had like Max Spears. Max Spears, I think, was talking in like 2010 or 2012. He was like the first super soldier, or I think James Casbolt was the first super soldier. Like they was one. It was I think both of those two together were like, and like what was weird was like when I had like my early awakening, some of their material was like some of the first stuff I came across. That's why I have such like an affinity for Carrie Cassidy, like because like I know not everything she says comes out, I mean, like, but not everything everybody says is right. So, you know what I mean? So, but like, with Carrie, like, she's such a pioneer, like in the field, you know what I mean? Like she was like around when Art Bell was like in doing his thing, you know what I mean? Like she was around, like, she started in like 2005, 2006, like before podcasts even existed. You know what I mean? So, and she was some of the first people to interview like James Casbolt and Max Spears. They're her and bases, and that's where I saw some of the earliest material in Super Soldiers, and I saw it early, like before I even like had my awakening, and then I had my awakening in 2015. But like the reason why I was already watching this stuff is because I used to listen to Art Bell way back in 2001. So like I was always keeping up on UFO radio and like every things that were kind of going on. I was always had an interest in it. So that's how I stumbled across the early Max Spears and James Casbolt stuff. But then later on I came back to it because I saw like it still has value. Like I think everybody should read a copy of James Casbolt's book called Project Ibis. It's definitely like a must read for everyone, because it tells you everything that's going on, you
yeah,
know.
I mean, I don't know if he's going to come to the Basis conference in June. That'd be quite interesting. Bob Osborne was there. He had a booth next to me, and he was selling James Caswell's latest book. I didn't get it at the time, but that's interesting. So
Yeah.
I've got one memory with Max Spears. It's nothing major. It's just come up in the last couple of months. We were just in a training room together. There was loads of people. We were like grey sweats or something. And it was like weapons drills. We were putting weapons together. And he was 2 tables away from me. And he was like the fastest person in the room. It was like that. It was insane. I just remember the frustration of it. That's all. I don't remember James Casbolt, but I have this kind of feeling that it was him. And it was in Peasemore. And he's just there. He's just there ahead of me, and it's just like not somebody that I wanted to approach. That's all I remember about that. Did you see the story about the guy who got abducted by dolphins and he was made to build underwater cities? So hey,
Wait, are you serious? Like
they did lie detectors on him and everything, and it was all came out true,
he got
right?
abducted by dolphins? Like
Have you
dolphins
not
abducted
seen
him?
this? What the
No,
hell?
I haven't seen it. Can we
Okay,
watch a clip of it now? Does anybody have a clip they can show us? Or like, I gotta see this. Like, I gotta.
Jason, can you tag that in, please? Yeah, honestly, there's loads of channels talking about it as well. And this guy wasn't just like a regular guy; he was like a an army person or something. But tied into Project Seagate. I don't know. So I've not explored Seagate too much, but Aaron McCullum, do you remember Aaron McCullum, Super Soldier from
No,
15 years ago?
I don't know him.
He did do Project Camelot, and I only found out about him because John Whitberg mentioned it on the video he did with Drago Reed, that latest video they did. And so I started to research into Aaron McCullum, and he came out 15 years ago, whistleblower. Kerry Cassidy interviewed him, and he was just dropping so much good information about Project Seagate, about how he used to abduct children and put them into the programs, all this weird shit. But I heard his voice and I passed out. I had a massive reaction to this guy's voice. I literally went into like a big grieving loss. So I had to reach out to Ivan Teller. I said, is this guy dead? What's going on? And he said, he's not dead, but his targeting is so bad and you've tuned into it. So yeah, so this guy's gone underground. So I knew him. I knew a version of him. Yeah.
Wow.
I've not had a reaction to him, to anyone like I've had to that guy. Yeah, so I don't know if he'll ever come back out. I don't know where he is. Aaron McCullum, he's got a playlist out there. You can find him on YouTube, but I don't know if anybody's in contact with him. Okay, we've got some information here.
I'm going to tell you guys something first. I'm interviewing some new people tomorrow. Like I've been having some new people on. Like I had Jerry and Leo on last night. They're really cool. Like some new people I found, and then all they're weird because they're kind of like in like ET community, but then they're also in like the natural law community as well. Like the the stuff like Mark Passio teaches, and I like Mark Passio. Anyway,
yeah, I've been rewatching Mark Passio stuff. I've been trying to get into the natural law stuff again. Yeah.
And then also tomorrow I'm having on some people from James Brink's crowd. Like I'm having on Andrew Chatsky, Kimberly Lusana, and this girl named Queen Bee Supreme. And they I guess they're all like the one girl's a part of, she's like the head of James Brink's I would have to look it up. She's the head of something going on.
Yeah.
They're trying to preserve James Brink's content,
Okay,
and
that
they're going
sounds
to talk
good.
about a bunch. Yeah, so that should be interesting tomorrow. That's at like 8 o'clock tomorrow, and then 6 o'clock tomorrow I have the Wizards. So I haven't made. I haven't made the
Oh, that sounds really good.
Yeah.
6 o'clock Eastern, so that's like 10 o'clock UK. Okay, good, because I need a wizard upgrade.
Yeah.
So he says Jason's dived really deep into this dolphin thing, so don't get your hopes up, but it's still fun. He says, for me, most of the time faces are usually blurred. Oh, this is James Wickers, blurred out. Yeah. Dolphin in charge of construction is named Gerald.
That's hilarious.
Okay, well, he's put a link in there to a resource.
Let me see if I can click on it. Let me see.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I really don't know, but it's a Brave Band coming out. But is it just a distraction? He's probably just been like V2K'd for distraction.
Forced to build an underwater city. This is classic. This is
I'm
oh my god,
this
is hilarious. This is so funny. Like I'm so glad you told me about this. Like this is Jason
that reminded me. Put it in. Yeah, a few people. I think they brought it up on the Cryptid Huntress. She covered it last week. They were talking about it last week. Yeah,
Renetta was one of the first people I knew that talked about the underwater programs. Like I mean that I knew other people talked about it, but like I hadn't heard many people talk about it until her. But like I know other people have though. But I mean, yeah, but she really felt like she was involved in that. And I think she definitely was involved. I think Renetta was absolutely a real.
Yeah,
I mean,
I agree.
Like she's like, I don't know. I miss her a lot. I miss James too, but I really miss Renetta because we did like 16 shows together. So I don't know.
Jason, Jason was saying he's putting it in his mermaid presentation. Jason. Okay, I look forward to seeing that. You can bring it on my channel. I don't mind. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, I do think I'm connected into undersea stuff, but I don't have a lot of memory. And what I thought was Seagate is actually like a memory from off planet.
Yeah.
So I used to live. There's a version of me on Ganymede that's in like an underwater dome city, like a lab. So I've tuned into that version of me. I find it very calming and comforting. John Whitberg says I'm a weirdo because most people don't like being under the water. So, but if you grew up there, then
Yeah, if you handle it,
Yeah.
I mean, they have like. Do you think they have like breathing places in these underwater? They have to, right? They have. It would be like They have like ways
Dome
of like,
cities. Like most of the places off planet where it's not habitable, they just put big dome cities there, so it's all controlled. What's the weirdest thing that you've discovered in your career doing UFO and paranormal research? What's
let
that
me think.
one story other than dolphins
The
that you
weirdest
think,
thing,
yeah?
I one of the okay one okay one of the funniest thing I know everybody's gonna already know about this, but this is one of my favorite funny conspiracy theories is that some birds are actually surveillance and that they charge on wires. Like there was a thing, and everybody can look up this meme. It's a meme on the internet. It says birds are actually CIA surveillance and they charge on wires, and it'll show like this robotic breakdown of the bird, and that it's actually charging on power lines and stuff. But you know what? That makes sense. Like if you ever look at like a pigeon and how a pigeon like operates in like natural whatever life or whatever, it
Hmm.
moves its head like robotically, you know what I mean?
Have
It's almost
you
like they are
ever
little robots.
seen a baby pigeon?
No.
Has anyone ever seen a baby pigeon? No, because they don't exist.
Holy
I
shit, that's an oh, so you're proving the theory right.
it's just a speculation. I don't know, but something came up on Instagram, and then I thought, I don't think I've ever seen tiny baby pigeons anywhere. So yeah, I don't know. What do we think about that, guys? Jason says Tim Burchett, how do you say that? Has a crazy story about a super giant USO. This footage that he's hoping is going to release in the UFO files. Yeah, I mean, I had a bad experience here, and we have massive seagulls because we're by the Irish Sea and by the River Mersey as well. So the seagulls are enormous, and they smacked into something that was invisible. I'm sure I've told that story, and that's how I knew that I was being surveilled. There was something over a street lamp that was invisible, and they hit
Holy
it,
shit.
shook
You want to
itself
hear
off.
something crazy? You
What?
want no,
What?
you want to hear something really spooky tonight? So this is okay, so I thought I'd been followed before, right? So I went like I was feeling kind of down tonight, so I like went and got a pizza or whatever. And I decided to just to walk. I wanted to walk up to the pizza shop, get exercise and like whatever, like you know what I mean? Like so I and then I smoked a blunt on the way there. So I could be paranoid about all this, but like when I was walking back, there was a guy on the other side of the sidewalk, and he was like say I was here, he's here, like he's ahead of me, right? And like every time I would slow down, he would slow down. And then I saw him, I noticed he looked behind his shoulder a couple of times to like look what I was doing. And I'm like starting to call people on my phone because I'm like, am I gonna have to beat this dude's ass, like, or like fight this dude out in the middle? I mean, is he gonna try to attack me or something? I didn't know what was going on. And I felt like this was happening before. I'll tell you about another situation. But then when I got to my apartment complex, there was this weird like truck like revving its engine at the end of the block, like they were waiting for the dude. And then I swear that like they were gonna try to hit me, like it was really strange. It was really bizarre. It was like, how did they know that I was gonna be out at that time?
Mm.
Whoever this was, you know what I mean? I
Yeah,
did tell people on Facebook that I was going to get pizza, I think, but like, I
yeah.
don't think any
I
of these
didn't tell
people.
anybody about you going to get
No, no,
pizza,
no, 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 no.
but
I know. I'm not accusing anybody. I don't
no,
think
no.
anybody
What it
is.
is, right?
Right?
Miles was saying that everybody, every empowered person, every targeted individual is eyes for the AI. The AI
Yeah.
is using us all. So the dark forces are regressives. They're
Yeah,
using us all. Yeah,
that's what this is. This isn't a person who did this to me. This is exactly what you're saying. This is dark
yeah,
forces. This is like the
yeah.
Matrix, you could say itself, like the Matrix targets people, or this
Mm.
could be government surveillance as
It'll
well.
be
It's
government
one of
surveillance for sure. Yeah, I just did a course in surveillance, as you do, and so it's likely it will be government surveillance. I mean, loads of my handlers are clones, and loads of my clones are handlers anyway. So I've had where I live. Every now and then, I look out the window first thing in the morning, and there'll be an unmarked white van outside my house on the main road. Right. I've had black helicopter fly over my house like 2 hours before I was going to do that interview
no
with Mr.
shit.
Gamble. Yeah,
Holy shit.
right. And it was literally shining lights like in my window as it went over. And then this time a year ago, there was a black helicopter that was suspended over my house for what was like 30 minutes. So Miles said it's likely it was a projection from a UFO because what helicopter is going to be there for 30 minutes? It's just use up all the fuel, wouldn't it? It just doesn't make sense.
I get them over my apartment, but they're flybys. But then
Yeah.
also, like what was weird was when I had that entity attachment, or what when I was dealing with that really bad,
Mm.
like it would feel like I think you probably heard me talk about this in other interviews. It would sound like a portal would open outside my window at 3 a.m. But like, but what it sounded like to me is like picture like like an elevator like drop and then come into a halt, right? It would go like this, it would go. Whoosh. That's how it would sound outside my window, and I thought it was them. I told this in other interviews. I said I thought it was them honestly coming and taking the trash because that's when the trash compactor comes here to my apartment complex. But when I looked out the window, nothing was there, and there would always be a lot of fog. There would be a lot of fog, and I would hear that weird noise, and I'd be getting driven nuts all night by entities. Like it was really bizarre. Like and this is right hand up to God. You know what I mean? This is like, all happening like for real. I mean, like I
Do
don't
you
know
ever
what to say
get
about it.
do you ever get V2K coming in? Do you ever notice that?
I mean, I don't know what it is. I mean,
Like voices or noises?
I don't get voices like I'm not like schizophrenic or not even V2K. I just get like thoughts in my head that aren't mine that I know are from an outside source,
Well,
but
that's
I'm able to
V2K.
differentiate that.
Or it's collective consciousness that you're tuning into. But when it's clear voices, that's definitely not yours, then that is potentially V2K. Yeah. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
yeah,
It
I mean, I've
happens.
had it a few times. So Kentia, I've not met you guys before. Kentia is sad. I'm experimented on rather have the helicopter instead of neighbors 24/7 spying. So I experienced gang stalking earlier in the year. Like I was away in August, and I actually experienced gang stalking for the first time. That was a bit weird.
And I'm going
So
to tell Kentia, if she's a targeted individual, a lot of times they'll pay people to target them like that. Like they'll pay your neighbors, so they'll give them gift cards and shit like that to gaslight you and gang stalk you and spy on you and stuff like that. I've heard of many times of like 3-letter agencies paying people gift cards to target people. Absolute target. You know who told me that? Tommy Edwards. Tommy Edwards told me that. And Tommy, he's like,
yeah,
I mean,
he's a lifelong target.
yeah.
So James Wickes in the crowd is saying, I remember crowd control training when I was in the Navy and learning about how a group consciousness kind of forms in a crowd, which ends up having them do things they normally would not do. And we were saying they're taking all the fun stuff and making it like mess our heads.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so I mean that collective consciousness. So if people are in a crowded place and they're tuning into that field right there, to program the crowd, that's scary shit.
Yeah. Athena
Yeah,
Halal's in the audience. Hi, Athena. I like her. She's always in my chat
yeah,
too.
yeah.
She's cool.
So guys, I'm not going to be on at like 2 a.m. Eastern. This is the early show. Just so you guys know, I'm going to bed after this because I'm actually teaching a retreat this afternoon. So it's already Saturday here for me. It's 3:31 a.m. in the UK.
Holy shit, man! You got to go to bed soon. You're probably tired.
No,
That's why at
I'm
least I can
okay.
make
I'm
it
okay.
fun and laid back for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm
We might
okay.
as well just have fun with this and like,
I
like,
I had a nap in the afternoon, so I'm okay. I'm all right. It's just weird, isn't it? But yeah, no, I always
remember
have
that
fun
one
with you.
time? Oh, never mind. Never mind. I
No,
don't
go
know.
on, tell me.
You told me that you almost fell asleep in the bathtub, and I got worried
Yeah,
about you. I was
yeah,
like,
it was right before the
I was
last
like,
conference. I
you're
nearly
not
drowned in the
sleeping a lot.
bathtub. No, it wasn't about sleeping. I literally nearly drowned in the bathtub. It was the only time where I actually took off like amulets and stuff. And it was like the day before the conference, and they literally tried to kill me in the bathtub. Yeah, like I was having a
I worry
vision.
about you. You know what I mean? You're my good friend.
I had a vision that I was holding myself down in the bathtub. That's how fucked up it was.
Holy
Right?
shit.
I was literally like they were using me to drown myself. That's messed up.
Whoa.
But luckily it was a really salty bath, and it was inhaling all the salt that aggravated my throat and made me like cough it up. So it was messed up. I still do saltwater immersion because it's the best way for me to get recall at the moment. But I'm really conscious that I'm going to make sure I don't like get But they messing me big time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I live on American time now. I live on typical skeptic time, which is Eastern.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Kentia says it's 4:32 there, so it's really
Oh,
early
right. So Kenty must be in Europe then.
or maybe Africa.
They're like an hour ahead. Where are you, Kentia? Let us know. If anyone's got any random questions for Rob, pop it in the chat. Anything at all except relationships. We don't talk about relationships. We don't talk about money. Um, do I
Yeah,
get
I don't
enough
want to talk
sleep?
about relationships for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. Do I get enough sleep? Well, I get targeted in my sleep, so I sleep best in the middle of the day. So, but I'm actually looking for jobs at the moment. I've just applied for the Ministry of Justice jobs,
I hope
which
you
is
get it.
like,
That's cool.
yeah, if I can get anything at all right now, that's well paid, so that I can do the things I want to do. Because like I want to have sessions for Sean Bond and stuff, and I have to pay for that. So, I love Sean, but you don't get anything for free.
Yeah,
So, I mean, I do a deal. So I only pay $100 and we do a live show. And sometimes it goes on like 3 hours. So, you really just do me a good deal there.
that's
Um,
cool.
so, oh, Kent is in the Netherlands. Okay, okay. Jason's not slept in a while. Woo's up late as well. Yeah. So mad. So yeah, that show that you did earlier with Rio and De Ruin, he was weird when you see him without his glasses on. Does he look weird?
I know. He usually has his glasses
Right?
on all the time,
Yeah,
right? He does.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I do watch his channel Team Light occasionally. But his energy is just either too much or whatever for me sometimes. When someone's always go go go, and I know I'm really chipper most of the time until I'm not, and then I'm like the dark goddess. But because I literally am a dark goddess. But yeah, he's really
He's a
high
nice
vibe.
guy though. Like from what I remember I saw him speak in real life. I saw him, he was one of
Yeah,
the biggest people I saw speak, like really, like I gotta give him props. Like,
yeah.
he really is good at what he does,
I did. I did watch his Full Disclosure Now live stream last year. I was on the live stream and I watched him then, and he was pretty good. Oh, hey, Nathan Fox is in the chat. Nathan, not seen you for a while. Are you okay, pal? He's nocturnal. He's saying,
well, no, the first year he did it was even better. Like last year he
yeah,
did it with Stone Mallard, but like the first year he did it, like the was like even like it was like
yeah,
really good. It was like yeah, but like, you know, um
yeah,
yeah. Do you guys have any questions? I'll answer any
yeah, yeah. Pop your questions in the chat for Rob. Otherwise, I'm going to ask some really random questions. Here we go. Rob, when was your very first show and who was on it?
um it was it's not uh, um I think it was 2019, and it was Dean McMurray. I think I remember the psychic. He's like the military medium. Like I saw him on Forbidden Knowledge News, I remember, and I like asked him to come on my show, and that was like the very first interview I did. I used to watch a lot of Forbidden Knowledge News, and I used to watch Leak Project a lot. Those were my two
Yeah.
favorite shows.
Okay,
Yeah.
now Woo's in the chat, and I don't believe anything that Woo says because he's caught me out a few times on the roller coaster thing. And he's saying, "Rest in heaven, Chuck Norris." Is
That's
Chuck
true.
Norris?
Chuck Norris
Okay.
died. It's
Whoa.
sad. The only person that
Yeah,
can
that's
kill Chuck
shocking.
Norris is Chuck Norris.
Yeah,
Because no, and that's a joke because they like you say they see he's like a badass and stuff like
yeah,
that. But
yeah,
I mean, like, I don't know. Like it is crazy. It's weird to get old and see people die. Like
yeah.
people that have been like I don't know. Like I don't know.
Hmm. So Jason's saying, let's give a shout out to Jason and Woo for helping promote Typical Skeptic podcast in 3,000 lobbies.
Well,
So
that's
that's a
amazing.
lot of work. That's a lot of work going on, guys.
Really?
Okay.
Did he really do that? That would be amazing if he
Yeah.
did. Like,
Yeah, they
you
did.
know.
They did. They've been working hard. So Chuck was 86 years old.
Wow.
Wow.
But
That's
no,
awesome.
they thank them so much for doing that, whatever they did. Like, I mean, like, I really feel blessed to like have friends like that. Derek and
Yeah.
Jason are really good guys. Like, they're really good. I consider them really good friends. Like, I really do. Like, even if they're just exaggerating, like, I don't care.
No,
They're still
not at
good
all. Not
friends.
at
Like,
all. I think we need to get them on the show for sure. Nathan Fox is saying Chuck Norris is not dead. The afterlife is just under new management.
that's a good point. Yeah.
Oh, so is saying, was he sacrificed? Do you know, he was 86. He had a good run. I don't know. What is your favorite Chuck Norris movie?
Oh, I grew up on Chuck Norris movies. I was remember I did martial arts a big part of my life.
Mm,
So like Chuck Norris was a big part of my I didn't watch like his newer stuff. I watched like his old stuff like what was it? One was called Invasion USA, Missing in Action 2, Missing in Action 3. There was a what was he did one he has a classic scene with Bruce Lee where they fight to the death in Return of the Dragon, which was Bruce Lee's movie, but it's a classic fight scene that went down in history. I know that. I can tell you a little bit about that. It's yeah, but like Chuck got his ass beat because it was Bruce Lee's movie, I guess. But I mean, I don't know who would have won in real life. Probably Bruce Lee, because Bruce Lee was more versatile. I would say, yeah.
So what were you going to say?
Oh no, I can go off on a martial arts tangent. Maybe I should smoke weed more. Maybe I'm more interesting when I'm high. Like I don't know. Like
Actually, you don't get interviewed very often, right? So you've started to phase out. Like you
yeah.
just listen to the guests and we can see you just kind of phasing out. I mean, you're just sharing out and you're like getting lower and lower and lower, and then you're gone. Right? And we're like, what's wrong? What's wrong? He's in the back room. What's wrong? So yeah, so sometimes I think you need to
Well, no,
engage with
but
it more.
lately I've had like really good shows. Like the Arcane show was good. The Penny show was really good. Like
Yeah,
the and Dr. Courtney Brown show was good. Even the
yeah,
show with Sports was good. Indigo Angels usually pretty
yeah,
good.
yeah. They're good shows. Good shows.
But I mean,
Um,
like it's like I know what you mean. After you do so many, it's hard to like you got to remember like I've been going hard since 2023. Like okay,
yeah,
so I've been doing my show since 2019, but I quit my job in 2023, and I said I'm gonna just do whatever I
mm,
can to like survive, and I basically
yeah,
have. That's been like doing like multiple shows a day, but now I'm at a point where I'm actually like physically burnt out. I'm only
yeah.
doing the bare minimum just to like but I'm
I
trying to
think
make those ones I
two.
do good ones,
Two a day, 2 a day is more than enough. Because so like we're also trying to fit in our own shows now and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I've literally been doing shows at 5 a.m. UK time, so I don't clash with you.
Oh,
Right,
that's
that's how that
cool.
started. That's how that started, and but now we're kind of addicted to it now. The early AM show,
That's
and
cool.
so there is a question. I say, what are the top 3 haunted cases?
Wait, I'll tell you. I got to tell you something. You might be getting onto something here with this night show. I'm telling you, that's a good thing. Like Art Bell used to be on in the middle of the night, and people loved him. What you should do is you should start taking calls too, if you do, because like Art Bell always took calls, and that's why I always wanted to take calls because you always get the most sincere interactions with people when you take calls, and when you do a show in the middle of the night like that, the craziest people are up. You never know who you're gonna get. So you're definitely onto something with the middle of the
Yeah.
night
So
shows.
it's like so for me it's like 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. So it's like 2, 1, 2, and 3 a.m. your time. But I generally pull cards and we've been having such a blast. It's been really, really funny, especially with these Japanese weird cards,
Keep it
these
up.
Japanese
You're
spirits.
gonna do good. I have a feeling you're gonna do
But
really
it's
good.
like, seeing me like getting up at like 5 a.m. and I'm like my eyes are still I'm trying to but we get some real weirdos coming in as well.
I,
Like,
do-
and
I, I
the
figured, yeah.
mods. And it's like every like 3 mods in the chat, and everyone's like, bye, bye, bye. It's like that, they're super fast. And I'm like trying to read the comments because I think it's hilarious. And the guys are like just kicking them out fast. So we have a thing of like, tell us where you are and what time it is. If you can't do that, you're out, basically. That's what we do. Yeah, so we know they're genuine if they do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's see where we're up to. Where we're up to. Jason's down for a paranormal pop talk. Paranormal
You want
pot.
me to tell about my haunted cases? I'll tell you
Yeah,
one
talk
that's
about the
really
haunted cases. Go ahead. Yeah.
so there. I gotta think of her name. Like, let me look it up. It's Art Bell. It's an Art Bell episode. It's this lady. Her name is Debbie, and she had a demon in her home. She had a it was a real demonic encounter, and if anybody knows the name of this episode, I mean, this demon, I don't mean to get like graphic or anything, but like this demon tormented her so bad that they had a fence outside with spikes on it, and the demon took the dog and spiked the dog on the fence. I'm not kidding you. And then the demon got so aggressive that it produced a spear. Okay, and they found it in bed, and then they took it to someone and they found out that this was like an ancient African spear, a sacrificial spear that the demon produced. It just produced it out of nowhere, and the demon wanted them to sacrifice the mother because it said it had a contract with the mother in a past life or something like that. It was insane. It was the most insane story I've ever heard in my entire life. I'm trying to think of what the name of that was, but it's a really good one. If Jason can find it, everybody should watch that. It's a really good one for sure.
So
Yeah.
I'm putting on my Shakti beats.
Mhm.
It's like, it's like 3 a.m. here and you're talking spooky shit. And last time we had Michael Koff on and he wasn't telling stories that were that scary, but we all went to bed like and freaked out. I had an entity jump on my bed, right? I couldn't see it, but it landed on my bed right between my legs, something heavy like a dog kind of energy. And I asked Ivan Teller, and because I did a session, and he said it was a were dog. a
Oh
were
shit.
dog,
Like a
right? What the
werewolf dog. Yeah.
yeah. And then I asked Helena, and she said to me, are you afraid of dogs? So they're tuning into the fear field. They're tuning into what you're afraid of, and then they create it and then dump it on you. Yeah. So I couldn't see it, but I felt the bounce on the bed, and I kind of woke up and just went blast, right, and sent plasma out. And I was just like, fuck that shit. It was so bad, yeah. And then a few people like had really bad nightmares, everything. Just after, Michael talking about a few of his paranormal investigations, but he did mention creepy dolls, and I hate creepy freaking dolls. You can't stand it because I was supposed to be in Project Mannequin, which is ACIO said it was creepy dolls. I don't believe that's true. I think it's just trying to scare me.
My
But
ex
who?
girlfriend had a haunted doll. I've told this story before. I don't know if you ever heard me
Mm,
tell the
put it
story,
in the
but
wall. You put it in the wall.
she no,
Oh,
she put it in the wall. She put it in some poor person. Poor. No, I'm not saying they were poor. I mean, like some.
yeah,
I feel bad for these people
yeah,
because
yeah,
it's just in the middle of some wall in Pittsburgh. It's probably haunting the hell
yeah,
out of. Because she said the doll used to like tell her to have sex with it and stuff like that. And it was a
yeah,
little alien doll, like this big. You know what I mean? It was like a little,
yeah.
She said she would have to move it from the closet to the shoebox to like
Mm.
different places in the closet where it would want to be. Like I was like, that's crazy. And then she bought it off eBay. It's
So,
crazy.
James is in the chat. He's talking about this card, right? So we're on the live from this morning. I put a picture of this card on because it's so funny. I've got to find it. I'm gonna have to show you guys what it is because it's like some guy's rear end with a big eye on his bottom. Oh, there's the blob
What?
monster. Right? Honestly, these cards are absolutely hilarious. They're scary, but they're really funny. Let me find it. So this is the yokai deck. So it's Japanese kami, it's spirits, it's monsters, it's like battered umbrellas that are enchanted. It's just the weirdest deck ever.
Wow.
But we're kind of invested in it now. I'm gonna try and find the right one now because it's just so funny. We were just talking about it. But for anybody who is like has bad dreams, this is the Baku. You see that the Baku, and the Baku eats the bad dreams up, and it's got like an elephant's head and then like an ox's body or something like that. So you say Baku Baku, and let me find the right. Honestly, it's just so freaking hilarious because in the book it talks about like Japanese folklore, and then I have to try and read out in Japanese the phrase. Oh, here it's right there. So this is the Shirimi, rear-end-eyed monster, but it's about humor, surprise, and absurdity. I don't think you can see
Let
it
me
because
see
I've got.
again. Oh my god, that's hilarious.
So that's an eye. That's an eye on his butt. Like, oh, that's so funny. So
That's
yeah, so this is so a few people have had this card now. It just cracks us up. It really does. And yeah, I don't know. And this is the blob. This is the new pepper, the fleshy blob monster. But it's about hidden worth, self-acceptance, and accepting others. And it's actually about immortality or something. This smelly, fleshy blob in Japanese culture, if you can like befriend it and see past it, it will give you the gift of like everlasting life or whatever. But it's a smelly, fleshy blob. So
wow.
that's so weird. So this is like a spirit that you can call on. It's
That
about
little girl next to it
self-acceptance.
looks terrified, you know?
Yeah. But if she ate him, if she ate a piece of him, she'd live forever. She's just got to get
Wow.
past the smell.
Yeah, right? Holy shit.
Yes, we've been working with the yokai today, and it's been well for a few days now. It's so funny, freaking funny. Oh,
I was seeing here
okay.
in the audience.
Let's catch up the chat. Notice how your last card show us a photo of the Japanese card. Yeah, I leave the funny ones up for a bit. So that was the card. Yeah. Oh my god, that card is just so fucking funny. So uh 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 okay. Catch up in the chat, guys. If anyone's got any questions, please pop them in. Um oh, Nathan says the doorstop in my room is being messed with. Did you tell the owners about the wall? No. The doll's in the wall, guys. Okay,
Wait a
the
minute.
World Fair. What do you know about the World Fairs?
I interviewed Howdy Mikowski about the World's Fairs. They're definitely a part of like a reset with like the orphan trains, and it ties into like the orphan trains, the mud floods, like a little bit of Tataria, like it's and it also seems like in the World's Fairs they tried to shape the public's perception, because if you think about like what Howdy Mikowski says, he says the only people that were able to afford to go to those World's Fairs were like the wealthy, and a lot, and also like a lot of they gave it to a lot of opportunities to teachers. Why did they do that? Because they wanted them to come back and like tell the people what they saw there, so they could, because remember there was no internet, there was nothing, so there was all word of mouth, and like that's how everybody shaped their reality. So what he was saying is they were trying to shape people's reality. He said the way they showed natives and Africans and stuff was in a very barbaric way. They didn't just have like they had exhibitions of real natives and real Africans, like that they were using as slaves, but they were like putting them off in an exhibition, and they portrayed them as savage, so people would think that way about them, and it shapes racism. This is one of the ways that controllers put racism into our society, because if you talk to a lot of people about the ancient days, they weren't so concerned about skin color in the ancient days. You know what I mean? They, like, racial things weren't that bad. There were, obviously there was slavery and stuff like that. Like the Romans had slaves, everybody had slaves. The Persians had slaves, the Greeks had slaves, but like it seemed like I don't know. Maybe people were racist. I don't know, but I mean, it just seems like I know that they try to do that in shape perception for sure in the World's Affairs. So that's one thing I know about
Wasn't there
them.
a Simpsons episode where they had like a flyer and it was out of date, but they were going to find the World's Fair, and when they got there, it was all gone. Do you remember
I don't
that?
know.
Is that just me?
No,
Kat
no,
saying
that's
that
true
she
though.
went.
They the one thing about these World's Fairs is they cost billions of dollars to put up, right?
Hmm,
And then they just tore them down afterwards, like it was nothing.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So
So
you're absolutely right. Like,
Breakaway Ray, he had a book about it, and it's like the speed that they put it up was really, really fast, actually. So yeah, Kat's saying that she went to the World's Fair in Flushing, Queens, in the '60s. When you talk about Flushing, Queens, my mind thinks The Nanny. So I used to love that TV show.
I
And
my mom loves the nanny, and my one of my ex girlfriends love the nanny too.
yeah,
That's definitely
it's a funny show. Come on, it's still good. Willard, I don't have the fairy cards yet. I've only just ordered the fairy cards. They won't come until Wednesday or Thursday. Then I will start doing fairy card reading. But Sil is the first person to get a reading because she sent me the donation to buy the deck. I'm hoping she's a she. I don't know. So, but yeah, so they're coming in. So your ears are hot, James. My ears are hot, James. I've had a flush of energy. James and I seem to be connected somehow. We're doing like everything's parallel with James Whitcus and I at the moment. So, what are your thoughts, Rob, on the missing general?
I can give you an update from Carrie Cassidy. What she said, this was interesting. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. I thought this was really good from where's she at? Carrie Lynn Cassidy. Okay, let me just read this to you. Okay, she put this out on Facebook. She says, "Hello, everyone. I have been following the news regarding." And guys, this is an update from Carrie Cassidy on Facebook. Here's her. Wait, can you see my phone? Wait, where's Okay, well, sorry. You probably can't see that well, but anyway, it's Carrie Cassidy, and she says, "Hello, everybody. I have been following the news regarding General McCaslin and recently found additional info regarding one of his colleagues. She was a female scientist who had clearance on the same project. She had developed a specific type of metal which she could be used in space. 3 months prior to the general's disappearance, this scientist went missing during a hike in the same region while hiking together with a man who was walking about 30 feet ahead. He turned around and later reported her missing, having literally disappeared off the trail in a moment's time. She was also never found, and clearly no coincidence. I need to go back and search the name of this woman and now linked somehow to the incident regarding Major General. Shared on a news group, name removed." So I'm gonna follow up with her about that, because like that might be a good story, to cover. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, that sounds really interesting. Yeah. So well, let's put a question, but we're not taking personal questions. So Rob can't help you with things like that. We're not doing psychic work today. Rob's an expert in all things esoteric and unusual. So I'm just checking the chat. So yep. Okay. Right. Oh, Jason's saying he's disappointed we didn't have a breakaway St. Paddy show. Well, Breakaway Ray is AWOL for 6 days. There's been no show. So if anybody has had recent contact with Breakaway Ray, please let me know, because people are starting to get worried. And I only realised it's been so long because there was a comment from Lisa Talcott, and then I went and checked his thing. I've sent him a message. I've asked Rob to send a message as well. So hopefully Rob will have done that to check up on Breakaway Ray. So we don't know if he's okay. It's not like him to take 6 days off, is it? So did he say he was having a holiday?
I don't know. Breakaway Ray got a hold of me today. He said
Okay, good.
he wanted me to talk to him on the phone, but I couldn't. So I'm going to find out tomorrow what's going on with him.
Okay, well, at least he reached out to you. That's good. Because I can send him a text, but he won't respond to my text. So I'm not sure if he's got a plan where he can actually text overseas. I don't know if that's a thing. So, okay. So any questions, please pop them in the chat. Can you put them in capitals as well so I can see them? Because the chat's moving fast. And so Jason's saying overload the chat with questions, but make sure I can tell that they're questions. Come on, let's bombard Rob with questions now. I want Rob's thoughts.
Wait, what? The thoughts?
That's what it just says. I want Rob's thoughts. On what though, guys? So, no, we're not doing any readings tonight, Eric. We're just doing a Q&A. This is a live Q&A show for Rob. So this is a new series that I've started of live Q&A. Ask as many questions as we possibly can from the guest, okay? We're going to bombard them. Bombarder. So, yeah. So what have you got planned for the rest of the year, Rob?
I don't know. I'm just gonna, take it as it comes. I might have a conference, I might do my own event, something like that, I don't know. I'd like to, for sure, like I just don't know how yet.
And you need a lot of planning for a conference. You need a lot of money as well. So when Miles does the conference, like even just the venue could cost hundreds and hundreds of dollars, and then flying out the Americans, it's costing like $1,000 to fly out to the Americans and stuff like that. So so we've got the Bases 2026 conference coming up in June. I'm on Team Bases again, so I'm promoting that. I'm going to start doing the promos for it this week. Does your throat also feel warm in the front? It does, James. What are you doing? Something's going on with me and James, and we're starting to sync our energies. We're spending a bit too much time together in the chat. So I don't know. Okay. Is Rob planning to go to any conferences? Well, you're talking about Rise of the Guardians conference. Are you having Sean Bond on to talk about the Alien event? Is that right now?
Oh yeah, he is at the Alien event. Yeah, and then I don't know if Brian's having full disclosure now this year. I don't think he is. I haven't heard about it, so I don't know.
There's a really interesting question here. Okay, and this is from Woo, and it says, Rob, why don't you appreciate yourself more? Asking as a friend, for the work you do in the phenomenon community, you should appreciate yourself more. Good pride, also my friend, he's put. So I think this is about your self-worth and deservability. Like, I don't know. Yeah. How do you feel at the moment?
I just, I don't know. I don't, I'm just kind of, I try to stay humble, I don't know.
Yeah, you're a pretty big deal. You've got no idea. I think you just need to recognize that you are a big deal. You've got a big platform, and like you've had like 1,000 guests come on, done 2,500 shows. That's a really big deal. But definitely putting yourself more of a schedule would be great.
Yeah,
I'm just being selfish.
It's hard because everybody has different times, like it's.
I know. Yeah. So, who was your weirdest guest, says Nathan. And then Jason says, the guest who was talking about selling his soul to the devil. Might be up there. So, can you say who your weirdest guest was?
Oh, I mean, okay. Well, okay, I'll tell you one of my, I'm not going to mention the guy's name because, like, I don't want him to get wind that I said this, but, like, that one time I interviewed a guy. He was a magician, and I found him on Coast to Coast AM, and I thought he was just talking about magic. But then when he got on the show, I realized he was doing black magic, and like he was like sacrificing chickens and stuff. And I was like, holy shit! I was like, I took the show down immediately. I was like, I didn't want to be rude, but I was like, man, I can't have someone doing black magic on my show. That's horrible. That's scary stuff. That's like working with demons for real.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. Hey, Spider Bites over there. Hey, Tiffany. Hey, everybody. Hey, Danny.
Oh, my phone fell. That's Tiffany's in the audience. I love Tiffany.
Yeah. So Tiffany did a show yesterday. I've not had a chance to watch her show. She did a channel panel over on my Starfire and all that. So it was like a big divine feminine thing, and then she had a great reading from Soma Arar just a couple of hours ago on here. So,
Yeah.
okay, who has got questions for Rob? Missing Time is saying a virtual conference marathon could be cool one week. Well, we just did a virtual conference on Gina's channel. It went really well, actually. It really did. Surprisingly went well, but me, Jason, James, Michael Cough, and all that were literally sitting there for 10 hours. 10 hours, right? That's long, man. It was like I had to order Chinese food. I had to get takeaway come in and stuff like that because I was sitting there moderating for 10 hours. So, but we had a good day. And but yeah, do you think you might do an online conference
I
or just
could.
like
I
a
definitely could do
marathon?
an online conference. That's a good idea. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've thought
let's
about that before.
yeah,
I've
let's
thought
start
about
off.
that. And maybe I could charge for the online conference, and that would make me money to have my real conference, you know?
Yeah.
My
How
phone
would you
keeps
do that?
calling.
How would you do that? How would you charge for that? Have you got
I don't even
Patreon?
know.
You could do it by your Patreon or something.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I don't know. I have no clue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, what was the strangest thing that ever happened on one of your shows? Paranormal
Um,
phenomena. Well, I heard that voice on the when Willa did that phone in, and then we heard that voice go, rah.
yeah, that was a real EVP, and then I've had orbs fly around people at different times on different shows. Like I think I have it on one of my channels. I had an orb fly over Dr. Shelley Kayer during one of the shows I did with her, and I'm trying to think of what else. There was just something else. Um, yeah, that might have been. I mean, there were other times where I've had like weird voice stuff. Oh, I would say one of the craziest times though, one of the absolute craziest is when was having I just put this out on my Rumble Premium, the 2024 Halloween party, when I invited everybody on the internet, and I put the Zoom link out to the regular public, right? And we got like 30 or 40, maybe we got a whole bunch of people from the community show up right off the bat, right? And then all of a sudden some crazy guy came in from out of nowhere, and he took over the Zoom, and he started screaming like obscenities. He started, screaming like the F word, the N, all these bad words. You know what I mean? And then somehow got a hold of the Zoom whiteboard, and he started drawing penises on it. I'm not kidding you.
I've had a
It's
similar experience. I've had a similar experience. So I do evening groups on a Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, and I used to put the Zoom link just out on Facebook, and then of course it must have gone into some chat room or something. And so I had like say 6 ladies on, and like Lisa, Emma, whatever. And then somebody was joining. I was just about to start a meditation as well, and somebody's trying to come in, so I let them in, and then they chat to say, "Oh, could you let my friend in? They're in the waiting room." So let the next person in, and I'm trying to do a meditation, and everybody's eyes are closed. And then suddenly I've got 2 Emmas and 2 Lisas. And when I'm thinking, what's going on here? And then somebody changed their photo to a picture of a man on a swing with his penis.
That's hilarious.
His penis going round and round. And I was just like, oh shit. Like, how do I get these people out and do the meditation at the same time? And my friend Lee, she had her eyes open. So she saw everything that was going on, and she's the only one. Everyone else just didn't see it at all, apart from Lee, and we were laughing so hard about that. That's mad.
Yeah.
Okay. Willett had a question about Bermuda Triangle. Now, I am super interested in Bermuda Triangle because when I was growing up, it was all about the Bermuda Triangle. There was nothing weirder than the Bermuda Triangle in the 1980s, right? That and what spontaneous combustion. Like, we really thought that was a real thing and that people were just going to be blowing up and leaving behind their left leg and all that kind of stuff. So, when I tried to remote view the Bermuda Triangle recently with David Purcell, I'm not joking, I got a telepathic message saying, stay away.
Whoa.
Right?
Whoa.
Yes. Okay. So, and we got loads of attention. So it's like, I'm only going to do remote view things that map work with Sean. I'm not going to do it with anybody else because I trust
Yeah.
Sean can take out those apex predators and whatnot. And I don't have to worry about it. I can just do my thing. So, yeah. So, what do you know about Bermuda Triangle?
I know about like triangle areas all over the country. You have the Alaskan Triangle, you have the Bridgewater Triangle, you have the Bermuda Triangle, you have the Michigan Triangle. There's all, and then what these tend to be is they tend to be like paranormal hotspots. They tend to be like, every triangle area is like like for example, the Bridgewater Triangle has puckwudgies, for example, which are little cryptid creatures that are like, native to that area, but then they've been seen other places too. They're like little small humanoid figures, but then there's also like satanic activity at the Bridgewater Triangle, missing people, UFO sightings, Bigfoot, and that's kind of common with all these. Like if you look up to the Alaskan Triangle, you'll find similar stuff, different cryptids, but like different phenomena. And then it's probably the same with the Bermuda Triangle. I don't know much about the Bermuda Triangle except for the fact that a lot of planes got lost there, but I mean, yeah, but the triangle areas seem to draw some kind of, I don't know if it's the ley lines that they're on,
Yeah.
or something like that, or it has to be, right? It would have
Yeah.
to be the energy. Yeah.
So Nathan's saying the Great Lakes quadrangle on the US-Canada border. James is saying the Crystal Pyramid under the Bermuda Triangle. I couldn't even get close to it, guys. I could not even get close. And as soon as I started to look at that area, David Purcell went, "Oh, I think we're meant to look at the Dragon Triangle over in Japan." So I switched my map over there. So he got redirected straight away, wouldn't even let me go there. So I went over to the Dragon Triangle and I only zoomed in to is it the Mariana Trench? So I
Want to give a shout out to Danny Hawk, yo, and Spider Bite, and Nathan Swidgetch Box, and Tiffany, and Alistair Van Blaze, and Eric, and everybody else in the chat that I missed. Like, I think that, like, I'm so happy all these people are here.
Yeah. So your crew still my crew.
And Willard.
So we're just one big community. Willard. Yeah.
I can't forget Willard. Like
yeah.
Willard.
Yeah.
And Derek's in and Jason.
Yeah.
Derek and Jason were in there.
We have such a lovely, the Mariana Trench, like we have a lovely community of people. But there's 19 people watching, which is awesome. Thank you guys. And so I zoomed into, not only did I zoom into like a naval base that I didn't even know was on the map, I zoomed into that trench which I didn't even know was on the map. And David Purcell's looking at me like, okay, how did you know? I'm just, I don't know, I'm right in there. So, and it was like, get out. So yeah, I've got to be
what I can tell you about the Marianas Trench is Renetta used to talk about it a lot, and she used to talk about that's where either the spider was or some kind of Cthulhu demonic creature that's like, that has something to do with the astral or something like that. But like, Renetta thought that they were also like 3D, that this like spider army was moving along, that they were coming, like for us. Basically, she thought that they were like an invader predator species.
Yeah. So we've got a question about the Eiffel Tower. What do I see about the Eiffel Tower? I know the Eiffel Tower is a looshing station, just like all of the major, things, all the big sites are all looshing stations. There's something about that one. It is connected into the grids around it. It's connected into the monoliths around it, which is looshing all the masculine energies. I've been there. I've been to the Eiffel Tower. It did not feel good. It didn't feel good. It felt really weird, actually. And then in Men in Black International, whatever it's called, they did a big thing there. Do you know anything about the Eiffel Tower being nefarious? Or?
Well, I mean, one thing I know is it's probably set up to take in energy. Like, like we were talking about how obelisks take in energy. Think about it's probably set. It's probably on some kind of weird ley line. There's probably paranormal activity that goes on there.
Yeah. I remember somebody saying that there's a particular set of people, I forget who they are, but the Eiffel Tower harnesses all the energy around it to keep those people young. Like, I don't know, they're like the dark elites or whoever they are, but specifically designed for that. I'll shout out to Matthew Morning in the chat. Thank you. Matthew's going to be coming on Wednesday. He's going to be doing a show with me on Wednesday.
Yeah, he's on my show Sunday
yeah,
night.
Awesome. And Matthew's going to be up for a live Q&A, so let's bombard him with questions. We'll see how we go. And let's see what else you got here. Okay, Willard, please be careful with your messages. So anybody got any weird questions for Rob, please? Jason's saying bombard you with questions while you're high.
I don't know.
It's all a bit of fun. You're absolutely fine. Paris is literally built on top of people who have passed away. Wow.
Yeah, the catacombs.
That could be said for anywhere.
He's right. He's about the catacombs. They're like really bad. Yeah, there's there.
Oh, there's an Eiffel Tower on the movie Tomorrowland. I've not actually watched that movie. Is there a movie that you've been meaning to watch and you've not seen it yet?
Danny Hawk hacked me up in the chat. Wait, I did read this. She said
Willard. She said Willard. I thought we. Well, the thing is that I've had a few moments where I've had to tell Willard off, and he literally altered me out.
She said, "Bro, keep it general, please."
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
hilarious. Danny's
So
getting pissed at Willard.
he,
That's so
I
funny.
altered out live one morning, and I started swearing a lot. I had to take down the video in the end. I had to delete it because it was like I was just like effing and blinding. So really bad. Has Rob experienced anything weird after hosting anyone on his lives? Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
I get entity attachments from people. Absolutely. Yeah, I get
yeah,
for some reason they know how to attach to me, and
mm,
like if I get the right kind of guest on that's like,
yeah,
not like taking care of themselves, I'll get their entities. Absolutely.
yeah. So, is there one particular TV show or movie that you think is good for disclosure to wake people up?
The X Files is a classic. Everybody
Mm,
should watch the X Files. You can learn a lot from the X Files. And then I'm excited about Steven Spielberg's new movie, Disclosure Day. I think we should all go to the movies, even if we aren't together. We can all go at the same day at the same time. We can be on our phones talking to each other when we go see it. Like we can do it as a community. We can just all go to our local theater and watch Disclosure Day. I think it's going to be that big. Yeah.
what was that knocking?
I don't know. Nothing. I don't.
Was it not like somebody on your door?
I don't think so.
That was creepy. It better not be somebody on my door. It's 4 a.m. here, so my son's asleep.
Oh God.
Willard had a good question. My son's 16, it's the same thing. Rob, have you ever had a mind crazy experience on live TV that you thought was a dream, but it was real and freaked you out? I don't know.
I don't think so.
No.
I remember that. Yeah. But that probably something close to that, Willard. I just can't think of it.
Yeah. So he's saying, did Renetta cover Spider Rock? I know that she said LA and Lahina were on the path of the spider, and both those spots had odd fires. There's 24/7.
Wow, that's a good point. That's a really good point.
Mm.
24/7. No, she never covered Spider Rock, but I think you're onto something there. I think she was onto something with the spider too, and I think
Hmm.
you guys are onto something with the Marianas Trench too.
Oh, you guys also heard The Knocking, right? Oh yeah, Jupiter Ascending is such a good movie.
I
Um,
love
I,
Jupiter Ascending.
I'm going to
Yeah.
get John Whitbag to do a review on that. Let me write that down. So John Whitbag is doing these $10 reviews, and so you just send a $10 donation and submit a movie that is some kind of disclosure or whatever, and he'll do a review on it for you and put it out there on his channel. I'm going to write that down. It's such a good movie. There's a lot of disclosure in Jupiter Ascending. Um, so just checking the chat. So any questions for Rob? Spidey saying, "Who could be who can that be knocking at my door? Go away! Don't come here no more." Okay, that's creepy. Rob, question for Eric. Rob, how about you have a show after Disclosure Day to discuss it, or like 3 days after to get more people to see it? Yes, we could do like a breakdown of the movie. What do you think?
Yeah.
Do a
Yeah, but
call-in
Matthew
show.
is right.
I don't
There's
know.
some shady shit with Steven Spielberg. He's definitely
Oh
shady.
yeah,
He's definitely a shady character.
yeah, yeah. Maybe I think he's on like some kind of contract to release movies every on a cycle. It's just coming in my head.
Probably.
Yeah,
I would say, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
he put out an alien abduction series in 2002, like when nobody was talking about this stuff,
Mm-mm.
2002, there was no movies, podcasts about this stuff, hardly anything. And yeah, he
Yeah.
put out, it was called, I think it was called, I can't remember what the name of it. I can't remember what it was, but it's an alien
Mm.
abduction series. I know that.
So Alistair Van Blaze says, "How many people have told you that you're probably in the SSP?"
Oh, a lot. Yeah.
Yeah,
I get that a lot. Yeah. But I
yeah.
don't have any memories yet.
No, I don't remember you. I don't remember hardly anyone. I do remember somebody that's in the chat, but I can't say because they're totally against SSP. So what can you do? Because it's if you're sharing memories, it's got to be helpful, right? If it's not helpful, there's
Yeah.
no point in sharing it. That's what I've learned in the last year. So I'm going to give you guys a hidden gem of disclosure movie cipher, says Jason. Um, do you see that question from Willard?
No, what is it? Let me
It
see.
says, he calls me Archhaven. Is that like my darker side? He calls me Archhaven.
Archhaven.
But this is because my name has been spelled. So if you can't spell my name right, you need to cleanse your energy. So otherwise, when you try and say my name, you get a massive influx of violet flame. So if you're not prepared for that, it's going to be uncomfortable. Let me see. He says about an hourglass program based on a hell version of Outer Limits. Um,
That sounds like our reality.
That's true, unfortunately. I'd be turning the lights on if I was Rob, says Danny. We definitely heard that knocking. We did hear that knocking. It's probably your family saying, "What are you doing that?" So Nathan says, have any of Rob's guests spoke of the lost Franklin expedition, 1845 expedition to the Arctic to find the Northwest Passage? The crew all died of various causes. It seems like it could have been SSP ties.
No,
What do
but
you know about
Nathan,
that?
if you can think of a guest that would be good for that, send me their name and I'll reach out
Yeah.
to them. I'll get them on for sure.
I'm trying to get Nathan back on.
Yeah,
Um,
he has good information.
yeah, yeah.
Nathan Switch Fox. Yeah.
Okay. Taken. Taken's a good movie series. To have a particular set of skills. Did you get a skateboard yet, Rob? Says Steve. How about the road trip plans with Tommy Edwards?
I haven't. Tommy was supposed to send me that skateboard. He hasn't sent it yet. And then, excuse me, we haven't made our plans for the,
Yeah,
we haven't made our plans for the road trip yet. I'd like to do both.
yeah. Oh yeah, Mars was talking about Hostel, and it was so weird, says Danny. I wasn't sure what he was talking about.
Oh, I love the
Um,
movie Hostel. I used to watch that all
was
the
he
time.
talking about the movie? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Any questions in the chat for Rob? Anything at all?
What time is it there, Anchorhaven?
It is 4:14.
Holy shit, you got to go to bed soon, right?
Yeah, I will go to bed soon because I've got to sleep and then I've got to get up and I've got to prep for this retreat that I'm teaching this afternoon, which starts at 12. So yeah, they continue the hostel storyline. Okay, so there's 21 people watching the chat. So if anyone has got a really good question for Rob, put it in the chat now because we're going to wrap up soon. But this has been super cool and I'd like to do this with you every month.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I'll do.
Yeah.
I
So
will.
I need to outsource all the paranormal stuff that I should know because I've got this book, the ET Deep Dive Guide by Ivan Teller, and it literally is like a beginner's guide to ufology. This book, but he's very much about there's a theory of this and there's a theory of that. So it's like nothing. Oh, he talks about 2001 Space Odyssey by Arthur C. Clarke and Stanley Kubrick. So there's like alien bases on the moon, and he's got references. Iron Sky 2012. So he's got references to really like interesting things in here. But I can't get into it at all.
I'd
But
like to
yeah,
read that book. I'm gonna buy that. Because I think
yeah,
I'd be.
it's like a dictionary.
Yeah.
But there's loads of cool stuff in here. But there's a picture of the rabbits. Here we go. Can you see that? Galactic
Yeah.
rabbits.
I like Ivan. I like Ivan a lot. He's cool. Like
Yeah, I
I
had
get
it out with
Ivan.
him recently. I had a fight with him recently, but obviously it was my issue that he was getting a bit too negative. I called him out on it, and but we're fine. I did a session with him privately, and we're good. He's all right.
Yeah.
He's a nice fella. I think when there's people in our community who change their behavior and they start to speak differently, we need to call them out. Yeah, we need to check they're okay. And I
Yeah.
did that with Ivan, and he's fine. He's just a bit bothered. A bit like Arkin Ra, isn't it? When no one's listening to you, you're going to start to
Yeah.
get a bit irate, aren't you? Right?
Now everybody's listening to Arkeem. He's got like 38,000 followers on
I
Instagram.
know,
Go
right?
Arkeem.
Like he gets like 500 or 600 likes on everything. It's insane, right?
Wow.
Mm.
I don't look. I didn't know he had that many followers. Like he
Oh
just
yeah,
told me that, like the other day, and I was like, holy shit.
yeah. I've seen him on Instagram. I follow him on Instagram. But it's just a lot. Okay, there was a voice in the background earlier, and it's what did it say? It said hi. Oh, we need to watch this back and find the voice in the background. Well, there was that definite knocking. So I don't know what that was. So I've got to go to bed now, guys. Why do we do the spooky stuff this late? I need to start doing it like 10 a.m.
Yeah.
So, okay. It didn't sound like Rob, don't know. Okay. Eric's put Anchorman. I put some questions in you may have missed. Anchorman. Okay, the one regarding any new updates on Rob waking up and seeing millions of miles of steps on his pedometer. He's talked about that a lot. Does Rob recognize this? It's he's talked about it loads on TSP. Where you got taken in the night and it showed up on your phone. Yeah, I've heard
Yeah.
that a few
I
times.
still have the evidence for that
Yeah.
too.
Mm. Uh, Will it's saying, have you heard about a former CIA remote viewer saying that there was an alien phone on Mars?
Yeah, that sounds familiar. I'm just trying to think of who it was. I think it
Yeah.
might have been Lynn Buchanan.
I don't know. I mean, all the stuff about Mars is totally distorted considering we've got like whole like societies living on there.
Willard
So
should start a YouTube channel. Willard knows so much
he
stuff
did
about
say
like
earlier.
Willard
He
would be
did.
really good. Like, he should start a
Sure.
YouTube channel.
um. Okay. There's a lot of yeah, my name is not Anchorman. That is not a new thing that we're starting. Okay. Oh my god, I got called out so bad about the Pepsi thing by Draco Reed earlier, and Sean Bond literally called me like a cannibal on his live show talking about the Pepsi contracts. And so yeah, the Pepsi Haven thing is not a thing either. So we're not calling me
Pepsi
Anchorman,
Haven.
and we're not calling me Pepsi Haven.
Oh my
There was
god.
Tower Haven and there was Worm Haven at one point as well, because it's a worm that creates wormholes. That's an aspect of me in space.
Yeah.
It's like a super ancient aspect of me. That stuff about Brian just isn't true, though. That's all I will say. Says Woo. Yeah, it's a matter of perspective, guys. Each to their own.
Brian's a good guy. Brian, but I'll tell you
Yeah,
what about Brian Singh. Like, people say stuff about Brian Singh, but honestly, every interaction I've ever had with Brian Singh was good. Like, he was always a good guy
yeah.
to me. Like, he always treated me really good, and he's been a good friend to me. So I have nothing bad to say about him
Sure.
personally.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay, we got a regular question. What's your favorite coast to coast episode?
that one I talked about earlier with the demons, or the one with what is his name? The kid who was going to Inner Earth. His name was oh man, you can't find any information about this kid anymore. He's
Yeah.
not a kid. He was, he's a grown. He was a grown man, but his name was oh man, I wish that Art Bell guy knew was here. He would know. But anyway, and then I like the ones with Red Elk too. Red Elk was a Native American who came on and talked about reptilians. I like that one. I like the Inner Earth
Mm.
episode where the kid goes to Inner Earth. He's gonna fly a helicopter into Inner Earth, and then I like the yeah, the demonic possession one. Those three would be my favorites probably.
I think Willard is trying to be funny, but Willard, you're going to get banned. Okay. So Eric's
That's funny.
apologising for calling me Anchorman. He said it was a keyboard issue. So, and last few questions, guys. Billy Woodard. What do you know about that?
But I don't know Billy
Okay.
Woodard. I don't know anything.
Okay. Um, Yeah, everybody needs to get their own channels. Yeah. I can't believe I've got like 500 videos on my channel, but half of it is shorts. It is shorts. I do a lot of shorts. I use Opus Clip and I create loads of shorts. So Billy Woodward is fascinating, says Jason. So there must be something there. We'll have to talk about that on the next one. Yeah. Oh, Danny should be on podcast as well. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, we definitely need to do a community show. We've not done a community show in ages.
yeah.
I'd like to do an SSP community show, like of people who've not told their story, they've not got out, but they're starting to realize that they definitely are in the debrief process right now. Oh, he's a
I know
hollow.
you and Tiffany wanted to do a show. We can still do that if you guys
Yeah,
want
yeah. I was
to.
gonna do a show with James as well and get a few of us on. Kat, Kat's got things to share as well.
Yeah.
Um,
Get a bunch of people from the community. And yeah, let's do it. We should do that soon. If you guys
Jason's
want
just
to do
put
it,
my
I'm all for it.
PayPal link in there saying order space Pepsi because John Whitberg was talking about Pepsi in space that has nanites in it so that you can like refresh your like languages and upgrade yourself and all that. It was a joke. Willard, it wasn't funny, okay? But it's fine, Willard. It's okay. Don't get upset. So if it was really bad, I would have knocked you out. So if you do that, I volunteer to be a co-host. Nathan wants to be a co-host. Okay. Yeah, Nathan, who would you interview? If you could interview people, who would it be? I am looking for a new male co-host. Edward Woodward. Actually, I have a really good guest that's coming up soon, and I can't really say too much about it because it's really Black Ops stuff. But I'm excited, and it's to do with the Alaskan pyramid.
Oh, that should be cool.
Yeah, but I'm not too sure if it's dangerous or if I should send him to your show. Send him your way instead of my way. I don't know. but it's going to be
Send
good.
him. I'll interview him for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Okay, cool. So we're going to wrap this up, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been really, really cool. Please do go and make sure that you have followed Rob's channel. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
like you've got 7,000 followers now. It took you a year to get 7,000 followers, and I'm on 522. And
Well, remember, I
100,
used to have 20,000. You know, that's the
yeah,
reason why. Like, it's because
but
I lost my first channel. And
it,
they're not giving it back. They're
it's
not.
taken me 2 weeks of going live twice a day to get up to 522. I was on like, it's just scraping 400 2 weeks ago, and I've managed to get up. So it's been really, really cool.
Congratulations! You get
Thank
500.
you.
That's a milestone.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. So, oh, Rebecca Rose in Alaska. That's interesting. Dan Winter, Jake Astro. I don't know. Okay, Rob, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. I would like to have you on more often, but I'm going to see you in the chat, and then I'll be on your show on Tuesday, where I'll be sharing a little bit of an update about things that I'm going to be talking about at Bases 2026. So I'm digging into something that's potentially a little bit dangerous right now. So yeah, it's just going to be cool. So
Awesome.
thank you guys. I'm going to stop the stream. Thank you guys for watching us.